Hello viewers! In our previous journey, we explored the fascinating possibility of traveling into the future. Science tells us it's possible, but humanity's deepest, most aching desire has always been the past. Think about it. The moments that have slipped through our fingers, the loved ones we've lost, or those life-altering mistakes we wish we could erase. Is the past truly a locked door? Is it possible that some major historical events weren't just accidents, but the deliberate results of time travel? For centuries, we were told that time flows like a river, constant, unstoppable, and moving in only one direction. But modern physics paints a much more complex picture. Albert Einstein revealed that time isn't an independent river. It's part of a four-dimensional space-time fabric. And just like any fabric, it can be bent, folded, or even torn. Today, we step into the forbidden territory of physics to see if we can rewrite the story of mankind. Welcome to the most mysterious journey of your life. To travel back in time, we need to bypass the very laws that govern our universe. Today, it's time for explanation, a deep dive into the mechanics of the cosmos. In 1935, Einstein and Nathan Rosen formulated a mathematical bridge in space-time, which we now famously call a wormhole. Imagine space as a flat sheet of paper. To get from point A to point B, you'd usually travel across the entire surface. But if you fold that paper so that point A touches point B and then poke a hole through them, you've created a shortcut. This is the Einstein-Rosen Bridge. It's a cosmic tunnel that could potentially link two different points in time. However, there is a massive scientific hurdle. Wormholes are theoretically unstable. They're born and collapse in a fraction of a second. To keep such a portal open for a human to pass through, we would need something called negative energy, or exotic matter, a substance with negative mass that defies gravity. Think back to our discovery of Damascus Steel, an ancient material where smiths used nanotechnology we still struggle to understand today. Could it be that the secret to time travel is also a lost technology waiting for us to find the key? But let's assume for a moment that we successfully built this machine. We step through the portal and arrive in the past. This is where we hit the most famous intellectual wall in history, the grandfather paradox. Imagine you travel back to 1950. You meet your grandfather when he was just a young man, long before he married. Through a series of unfortunate events, you accidentally cause his death. Now, follow the logic. If your grandfather died in 1950, your father would never be born. And if your father was never born, you would never have existed to travel back in time in the first place. So if you never existed, who was the person that killed the grandfather? This creates a logical loop that breaks the laws of causality. Many physicists argue that the universe is self-correcting. It might physically prevent you from changing anything significant. Perhaps your weapon fails, or a sudden twist of fate stops you from interfering with the timeline. If you thought the grandfather paradox was mind-bending, the Bootstrap Paradox is even more haunting. It's also known as the information loop. Imagine you are a devoted student of Albert Einstein. You take a time machine back to 1905 to meet your hero, but you find Einstein working as a lowly clerk with no knowledge of advanced physics. Distraught, you give him your own copy of the theory of relativity. Einstein reads it, publishes it, and becomes a global icon. Now, ask yourself, who actually came up with the theory of relativity? Einstein didn't create it, he got it from you in the future. You didn't create it, you learned it from his books in the future. The information exists, yet it has no point of origin. It is a causal loop, an idea that exists in a permanent circle, born from nothing. The legendary Stephen Hawking once conducted a famous experiment to prove time travel was impossible. In 2009, he hosted a lavish party for time travelers, but he didn't send out the invites until after the party was over. He waited all night, but no one showed up. But does that mean it's impossible? Not necessarily. Quantum physicists suggest a wilder solution, the multiverse theory. They believe that when you go back and change the past, you aren't changing your own history. Instead, you're splitting the universe and creating a brand new timeline. The grandfather you accidentally killed belonged to a parallel world. Your original home remains untouched. This solves the paradox, but it leaves us with an even bigger question. Are we living in an infinite web of realities? The past is a riddle we are only beginning to solve. But one thing is certain. Our timeline is more fragile and more mysterious than we ever dared to imagine. But what if the real secrets aren't buried in the past? What if they're waiting in the future? In our next episode, we will look at top-secret documents regarding time machines. Is CERN truly experimenting with the fabric of reality? And we'll hear the stories of people who claim to have visited the years 2030 and 3000. What do you think? Is time a straight line or a chaotic web? Share your thoughts in the comments. To join us for Episode 3, The Future and Time Machines, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Until next time, stay curious. Goodbye.